What is up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson. I've got Greg McDaniel here. We are your co-hosts for Real Estate Uncensored. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to talk a little bit about how to get now business, because we've got a course on that, a live class series coming up that is on just that topic. And so we want to talk about like really who this is for and what this, what things to think about when you're trying to get now business. Because why, Greg? We have taught people how to get now business with cold calls. We've taught people how to do it with door knocking. We've taught people how to do it if they have a ton of marketing dollars to spend. What if you don't have any of those things?
You're screwed. No, you're not screwed at all, guys. What it is, getting out business is an opportunity where we've talked about it several times during the podcast. But what it is we're going to take you guys and we're going to show you how to build a business today. Okay, but you're also going to be doing it on basically zero budget. $500 max is what we're going to be rolling out for a monthly spend. We're going to show you tips and tricks, guys. This is the shit I wish I knew way before all of this stuff happened. I have grown up, strictly doing cold calls and door knocks and everything else. You guys all know this. I've talked about this about a bajillion times. But the fact is that that's not for everybody. Okay, it's just not. And there are so many wonderful, great people out there in this business that deserve the opportunity to be successful in real estate. But the only thing they've ever been told is how to do it the hard way. You got to grind it out, and you do have to grind it out. But this system, Matt, is something that I truly wish I had. It would have eased into this real estate gig a lot easier than just being saying, well, there's deep end, jump in, you're wearing lead boots. And if you don't like it, well, screw you, you're done.
Yeah, me too. I would have killed to have this stuff when I was getting started. So, I mean, this is for you. If you are new, great. If you're restarting, great. Or if you're just running up against a wall of any kind and you need business now. And I mean, we're talking about putting commissions in your pocket in the next 90 days with zero cold calls, zero door knocking, zero crazy marketing budget. I mean, if that's you for whatever reason, then that's who the class is designed for. So, you mentioned like the system, right? So that's exactly what this is. It's not just a collection of tips and tricks. This is a system. It's a 4-step marketing system, marketing and sales system to attract exactly those types of people. So when you talk about like getting now business, it really comes down to a couple of things. You need people where there's some sort of connection to you. And they have a need for what you do. Now, what most people have been taught, and Greg, you've done this for years with circle prospecting, for example. You're basically going around like a house that's already sold. You're cold calling their neighbors who you have no idea. They don't know who you are. There's no connection to them. And you have no idea whether they have a need for what you're doing. You're literally throwing a fishing line out into the random middle of a lake and going, I really hope I stumble across somebody that needs to do something, right? And the odds are they don't, which is fine if you want to build your database and you're playing the long game and you can afford to make 1,000 calls and you can afford to wait 2 years for those deals to start popping. But if you don't have that kind of time and you need to get deals now, you can't go fishing randomly. You have to fish where people are biting. And so we look for ways to find you the people that they have a connection to you of some kind and they have a need for what you do. And we're going to talk about exactly how to find those. More importantly, what the hell happens when you actually do find them? Because there's a lot of we joke around because we do a lot of like role-playing training, right?
Right.
And with everyone from agents to people who lead generation companies pay to call on behalf of agents because agents are not calling. So we train them all. And one of the hardest things people struggle with is how do you take that conversation where it's about real estate, like they bring it up, and how do you actually turn that conversation to one that converts into an appointment, which turns into an actual deal? And that's one of the things that we talk about. That's one of the parts of the marketing system. So if you're drowning in options, if you are, that's one of the downsides of doing a podcast like we do, Greg. We get this opportunity to interview a lot of people, but what ends up happening? There's a ton of options. There's a lot of ideas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there is, and that's where a lot of people go snowblind, essentially. Yeah. Instead of being able to focus in on one thing, they're getting, tips and tricks from Aunt Betty, who is an agent in 72. And she's like, back in my day, you're like, Aunt Betty, you're a sweetheart, but don't talk. Okay, your dentures are going to fall out. That's not the person you want to be listening to when it comes to your real estate advice. Guys, Matt and I went out, we beat the bushes. We really, really, really did put some hard work into getting this course developed because I've seen fellow friends of mine fall out of the business and they really wanted to make a big difference in the business, but they just couldn't because they were so afraid of their own shadow. And Matt and I had stood up and we said, that is it. That is enough. We're done. No more bullshit. we're going to create something that everybody can be gravitate towards. Either the cold call and door knocking, that's Rockstar Prospecting, guys. You've heard of that course, but we decided to build Get Now Business for you guys. There is literally business hiding right in front of you, but you don't know what to look for, so you can't see it. We're going to take the blinders off. We're going to show you the business. You guys, if you're wanting to get 1, 2, 10, 100 more deals a year, Matt and I can show you how to do that. But you've got to take an action step first and actually jump in and take action and join the course. If you don't join the course, then you have to blame yourself for your lack of success. Now, look, you want to reinvent the damn wheel? No, nobody wants to reinvent the wheel. That's why you don't have to take the time and the energy and the 18 and a half years that I've developed and the thousands of hours of study that I've put into, real estate as a whole, reading and researching every day for 1 to 3 hours a day. Guys, skip all the bullshit. Get the nuggets. Don't have to go mining. Just get the gold.
That's right.
Damn.
Well, you talked about, Greg, how you've kind of built your business on a lot of cold calling, a lot of cold door knocking, but I wanted to point out a couple of success examples for this different type of marketing strategy or marketing system, which is, obviously this is how I grow my own business. This is also how you talk a lot about the Grandmaster, Terry. He's done a lot of door knocking, but in these days now, this is more of what he does. It's personal relationship marketing. Chris is out there. He's doing a lot of the same thing, but I wanted to point out 2 specific examples, guys. So Kevin Dutoit is an interesting guy. I came across him. He's based out of Newport Beach. He was one of the top luxury agents there. Now he's with a brokerage, and he recruits their agents and mentors and trains them. But he would spend 2 to 3 hours every day, every morning, and his lead generation was LinkedIn and Facebook, and that is not a joke. And this is one of the top agents in the country. top luxury agent, right? We're not talking about he's going out and finding the guys that are the welders and the construction workers and getting them into their first home. We're talking about he's working with extremely high-powered people. Same thing for Stephen Moy, who is one of the top 200 loan originators. I ran into him in San Diego, and same exact way, spends most of his time, most of his, quote, lead generation time is not picking up the phone, making outbound calls. It's working LinkedIn. It's commenting, it's interacting, it's reaching out to people, connecting with them, getting them on the phone, having those initial conversations, warm conversations. And he's targeting exactly who he wants to work with on LinkedIn. And so those are one of the things, that's one of the part of the marketing system, is how you can do things like that to where your lead generation time isn't you picking up the phone and cold calling like it is for Greg, but it's doing the things that you can do to start those conversations that turn into deals. And then within those conversations, finding those people that have the need for what you do and not just the connection. So it really is as easy as that. And it can pay off very quickly. What we're trying to figure out, like, what's the hardest thing for people to do in this entire course? And I think I hit it, Greg.
What is that, Matt?
It is if you can go out and grab a cup of coffee with someone that you haven't seen in a long time, like let's say one of your high school friends. You stumble across them in the grocery store and you're like, hey, let's go grab a cup of coffee. It's going to be a little awkward because you haven't seen each other, but there's lots and lots to talk about, lots to catch up on, and that's probably the hardest thing that I can think of in this course is about that same level of discomfort. If you can go grab a coffee with someone you haven't seen in a while, you can do anything in this class.
Yeah, guys, it really is. This course is written for everybody. And if you want to go and you want to change, your future, your 2017, your 2018, whatever it's going to be, if you really want to make that step, then you need to be proactive and take steps by getting more education. Now, are we the end all be all? Nope. But you know what? We're a hell of a good start. We're better than zero. So if you guys enjoy the podcast, if you want to get, dig deeper into what Matt and I really can bring, we bring a lot of entertainment, bring a lot of laughs. We do a lot of that stuff, infotainment. But this is going to be hardcore. Yes, we're still going to laugh because I'm still going to be a 10-year-old in my mind at all times.
So you can't help it, yeah.
I'm just hardwired for that. So I'm still going to laugh at dumb shit and pick on Matt. Matt's going to, slap me down verbally and use really long words. Makes me feel about an inch tall. It's just you'll still get all of that. But what you're also going to get is some really good education, guys. Look, yes, we are pushing this because we have heard so many people ask us, hey, will you coach us? And Matt and I might do some group coaching. We're still vetting that out. Matt and I have got to work that out in the back end, but it'd be less than like $400 or something like that if you guys want to do real personal coaching with us. But, this course is where you need to start off. You need to know your options, okay? Because you have to be tactical, but you have to be intentional. Have the right tactics, but then be intentional about your schedule, the people around you, asking for the business. Because there's some seriously simple things that we've never talked about on the show that you guys can put into action right now, today. Even though this is being recorded on a 4th of July holiday weekend. Well, it's Monday now, but you know what I mean. Tomorrow's 4th of July. Everyone's kind of out of their minds going to do something fun. You can still be using this if you're on the lake or at the river or at the pool. You can still be putting these tactics and techniques into action right now without being a sleaze dick, real estate agent. You can just be chilling, sipping on a nice Bud Light. Fat does look better tan, so you might want to get those kids out to the pool, okay?
Fat looks better tan, so get your kids to the pool. I'm going to put that on my bumper sticker. It's going to be on the back of my car. It's awesome. All right, so talking about the benefits. So the benefits of the class. So yes, besides the fact that you can take your fat kids to the pool and get them tan and still be working and generating business for your real estate business, you can have more conversation with the right people. One of the coolest things about this course is that we teach you how to build an inner circle of people who have really become an army that are out there looking for your ideal clients, and they know what you're looking for, and they know how to keep an eye out, and when they run across that person, they know exactly how you want to be passed on to them, and they actually do it because they know how to do it, right? So they respect you. They come to view you as a respected professional. So Greg, you mentioned, not being a sleaze dick in real estate. Nobody likes to feel like that. Nobody likes to feel like they're pushing things on people and being sleazy in any way. And so this is not about that. This is about being a respected professional that other people respect enough to send the people that they value in their life to you. So that means we're going to teach you how to handle questions about real estate in an authentic, professional way. So you don't get that, Greg, what do you call it when somebody asks you like, hey, how's the market? You're like, ooh, jump on it. It's like you blow commission breath all over them. And it's like you're like an excitable puppy.
Just peanut self.
Yeah, exactly.
But you look at it, I didn't do that.
We don't want that. We want you to be able to capitalize on referral opportunities and not miss them by being an excitable puppy. We're also going to teach you how to build very easy, natural connections with people from your past, people from your extended network. So we'll go through that. You're going to end up coming out of this and realizing that you know a lot more people than you think you do. And take it from me, I've done this exercise, and Greg calls me an agoraphobic. I know a lot of more people than I think I do. And we're also going to teach you how to turn things like Facebook Lives and other social media into actual trackable business, because here's the problem with social media. There is a way for you to track it and know that it's actually working, and there's a way that you can just put stuff out there and have no idea whether it's working and get zero results from it, and that's what most people do. So we're going to teach you how to not do what most people do and actually get results from the stuff that you do on social media. So all that being said, Greg, when they get to the other end of this course, and it's a 4-week course, it's they're all 4 live classes. What is the end result? What do they look like coming out of that class?
You are gonna have more confidence. You are going to look at real estate in a different light. The people that have been going through this, we asked them, are you guys putting this into work? They're like, yes, it is working. We are getting now business. A couple of the guys have got multiple different listing appointments, started working with different buyers just by tapping into the resources that we're putting into it. So Matt, the short and long of it, what you're going to get is when you put the work in, you're going to get the rewards. You're going to get the business. That's why we call it Get Now business. Yeah. I mean, if we said just get now to mess around, I'm just going to screw around in the office and throw pencils at the ceiling and, drink the free coffee. Well, congratulations. You're all professionals at that. But we're going to show you how to really be professionals at making money, professionals at handling real estate transactions, be a professional seeker of giving, I guess, because you want to give your service, your value, you want to give to the people around you. But see, the funny thing is that there are so many people around you right now, literally maybe around you where you're sitting right now, that you have never really even asked for the business, and they could be a stone's throw away from you. You just assume that they know that you do real estate.
Nobody knows.
Really?
Nobody cares.
Come on, guys. Christ almighty. Yeah. Get your head out of your ass and start humbling yourself a little bit. I have to do it all the time. I pull my head out of my ass on a daily basis. Boom. And oh, here's my business card. Hey, if I can ever help, here's my business card. If I can ever help, here's my business card. And people, okay, so check this out, Matt.
Okay.
3 or 4 years ago when I was living in Danville, I was doing a lot of cooking, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'd always go down to the Safeway and I would talk to the produce gal. And she was always cool, and we always just hung out and chatted. Well, I didn't go in there because I moved, right? I moved and I ran into her. Her name was Eileen. And I said, Eileen, what's up? How are you? She's like, hey, Greg, I haven't seen you. I explained to her what was going on. I said, what's new with you? She's like, oh, well, I had a baby. I'm like, congratulations. She's like, oh, no, that kid's hell. I mean, it's horrible. I'm like, oh, okay. I was trying to be congratulating her, but she wasn't having it. But here's the cool thing. She said this. I said, well, okay, that's cool. She's like, hey, you still doing real estate? I said, yeah, I sure am. She's like, Greg, can you come over and give me a value of my house? I want to sell my house and buy another house. I'm on the way. I lost touch with her, went back in to find her, and I sent her a text message. My text wouldn't go through. That's why she wasn't getting back to me, guys. And then I call her, and the phone went through. Strangest damn thing. But this is what I'm telling you. Even the people at Safeway or Vons or whatever supermarket you're at, those type of people, you never know. Make friends with them, and then you're going to get, well, that's going to be $2.5 to $3 million of volume out of stocking oranges. And just being nice and getting their opinion. Guys, there's so much business floating around you. You just haven't had the nerve because you maybe didn't think you had enough smarts to ask them if they had a question for you. But we're also going to give you resources where you can go get more knowledge after the course. If you want highly concentrated information on specific topics, we can help you guys with that as well. But this course is going to get you to where you need to be.
Yeah. Yeah. So you come out of it, besides that sense of knowing exactly how to approach someone and actually talk to them and have a conversation with them that ends up like that, like Greg, you did. You also get just the satisfaction of having the people that are in your inner circle, the people that you know and that like and trust you. They view you as a respected professional, not as just, hey, it's Greg and Greg's a nice guy. They view you as Greg, the respected professional who I can turn to when I have a question about real estate. And that's a big difference. Those two things are wildly different. People can respect you and they can know you. They can even like you. But if you're not credible and they don't respect you as a professional in real estate, they're not going to do business with you or send referrals to you. They're definitely not going to be an army that's out there looking for people to send your way. And so that's what this course teaches. So you'll come out with that. You also get the joy of the accolades from your coworkers, the agents who are well, they're not in the office right now because today is the day before holiday. But when they do get back in the office, you will feel the satisfaction of them admiring you and your work ethic and the way that you bring in business, which you weren't before.
You know what I just thought about? I just thought of like a slow entry with wind blowing in on you, perfect like lighting, just boom. That's what happens when you walk into the office. You get the slow-mo entry with wind blow in the face. Yes. That's right.
I strongly recommend that you grow out your hair so that when the fan blows, it has something to push back.
Yes, Matt. You can be a movie star if you take this course.
Exactly. All right, so let's talk about exactly what it is. So it is a 4-week live training class. What that means is that we send you a link, you click the link, we pop up. So it's just like being on the podcast with us, except you're actually behind the scenes with us. You don't have to be on video. You can actually turn that off, or you can dial in from the phone. We have a lot of people on the courses that they're not able to be at their desk or whatever the case is. Maybe they're on their way to an appointment, God forbid, actually on their way to get now business. And so they'll listen in by dialing in on their phone. That's cool too. You can participate as much or as little as you want to. We have a lot of content to share, but we have a lot of room for interaction so you can clarify, so you can get your questions asked. If you have questions after the live classes or outside of the live classes, you can message us or you can shoot us an email. We're happy to answer those. You get all recordings of the classes, not just the ones that you're in, but all of our past sessions and any future sessions that we do in Get Now Business. It all goes into a Google Drive folder, so you have access to everything after the fact. We usually upload the recordings the same day. And then you get all the outlines and handouts. And what I mean is, Greg, all the scripts, the course outline that has all the takeaways, all the homework, all the assignments, the message templates, the letter templates, the PDFs, all the stuff that we put together to really drive the points home and give you the actual practical tools to do this stuff. You get all that in that Google Drive folder. So,
yeah, a ton of value. A ton of value. It's this stuff that none of you actually probably ever heard of. This guy, his name was Howard Britton. He ran a company called Star Power. Star Power is still around, but it's a shell of what it used to be. It's nothing like what it used to be. But Howard had the same idea. So my dad and I, our team, were stars, and you had to do a certain amount of business for a certain time with certain ethics, to become nominated to become a star. And they're just basically high producers, very, very high producers for a long period of time. And this is the cool thing is that what they did when you became a star, you had to give all of your marketing material, everything you've ever used, you got to put it into a writable document and put it into a file where anybody could go download it for free and put it into their business. That's what we're doing here. We're giving you everything that we're creating at one time in one folder so you can access it. And as we update it, guess what, guys? You get the updated folders. So when Matt and I come across something new, when another guest shares something with us on the podcast, when we have another class and then something great comes out of it, Matt and I coach for the PSL, Prime Seller Leads, their ISAs. Matt runs a file with them, all new scripts that we're coming with on a constant basis. I mean, guys, when you get out of this class, it's not like, hi, good to see you for a month. All right, get out. You're done. No. It's like, hey, welcome to the family, welcome to the tribe, welcome to the inner sanctum, because now you get to really learn on a consistent basis. Now, if you're going to go buy this, I mean, honestly, let's look at some real facts. If you were going to do coaching with any other major organization, you'd be starting around $600, and it would be an hour a month, 2 30-minute calls, or maybe 2 hours a month. Guys, we're giving you 4 hours in 1 month, and then you get ongoing training for no additional cost. If you don't see the value, turn us off, and, well, there you go. Bye-bye. But if you do think there is value.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. If you're really not happy, we have a plan for that too. So first of all, guys, it's limited to 20 seats. And if you get into the class and it's not what you expected, we're not delivering the value. Let's say Greg is just screwing around the whole time and he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. I don't know. If you're not happy for any reason, guys, we really want you to be successful, even if it's not with our stuff. So here's the deal: if you get into the class and it's not what you were promised, you're not getting the value, and you don't feel like this is something you can put into your business, we're not just going to refund the money. We can obviously send you the cash back and just do a straight refund, but we would much rather even buy you a course from some other coach or trainer or somebody. Let's get you into another course where you can be successful, and we'll give you Rockstar Prospecting, which is a $300 class for free, which is all the past sessions of that, there's like, what is that, 12 hours of video in there, and all the bonus materials that go with that. So guys, there's really, we try to do everything that we can to just completely take away any risk that you have to make sure that you guys have everything you need to be successful. And if for some reason we don't deliver, we want to make sure that you guys are taken care of. So,
and you guys really got to add on top of that, Matt, I just got Matt's text before we went on this live, and he said that he'd be willing to come over and wash your cars on Saturdays. If you're not happy either.
What's the driving radius on that guarantee, Greg?
Oh, that was awesome. You literally spit water out here.
All right. Plus, we have 3 bonuses that we're building into the classes. So we have 2 bonus videos for you. Number 1 is how to dominate with events, which are the 3 types of events that you should be running to build your business. And we'll talk about that in the video. That's about 25-minute video. We've also got a live scripting role play, Greg, where you took live on Facebook. This video is now no longer available except as a bonus video. You took 5 people through a scripting role play and did a role play with them on key scripts that they need to know to follow up with leads and close new clients and things like that. We also have a downloadable PDF called the Daily Success Habits and Recommended Books. So that is a fun thing we throw in there for the class. So that is the deal. That is all the stuff that you guys get. So guys, go now. If you want business now, go now and register. It's getnowbusiness.com. Super easy. Just go to the site. It's got all the details as far as when the class starts. We do these Monday mornings at 9 a.m. So it's very, very easy for everyone to kind of jump start on the week, know exactly what you're going to do. You'll come out of it with some homework to do. You have plenty of time to do it before the next week. We don't put anything that's too burdensome on you, but it's a great way to kind of put what you learn into action. So Gregory, what happens if they ignore this and they go upon their merry way, and maybe they just keep listening to podcasts and keep surfing around on YouTube for educational videos and do nothing?
Definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. One of my favorite quotes of all times. And guys, not to be a salesy, pitchy human being, but I am going to ramrod this down your throat, because if you guys don't get your mind out of the gutter, weirdo.
Wow.
But what I'm saying here is that if you guys want to honestly take a next step in your business, take this course. Yes, Matt and I give a metric shit ton of value away, but guys, this is something that's going to be a lot different than what you've already seen. And what you're not going to get if you don't sign up for this either now or in the future is you're not going to take yourself to that next level with the ease that we're going to give you. Now, yes, can you go find the same information? Absolutely. You know, there's no doubt in my mind you can find the same information, but do you have the time to do the research and still make a living? My guess is that it's probably not. Now, Matt and I, this is literally
and you have to pull it from other industries, by the way,
Yes.
Craig. Because this is not just stuff that you can get from any other real estate trainer.
No, guys. I pull stuff from all different industries. You know, anything. I mean, shit. One of the things that we're going to talk about in the class is how this guy in Australia who sells candy uses social media, and how people fly in from around the world just to see him in Australia. Not like any of the major sites or anything. They first come to see him from what he does on social media, and I can show you guys how to do that as well in your businesses. I mean, it's unbelievable. But hey, if you don't want to pay the $297 one time and get all this free stuff, then fine, whatever. I mean, we can't make you learn. We can't make you become smarter. We can't make you become, a top agent. But sure shit would feel good if you stand up there and be top 1% or 3% or a top producer in the office or the rookie of the year or rookie of the office just from listening to some of the stuff. I mean, guys, I have nothing else to say. If you don't want to do it, stop listening. If you want to listen, you want to learn, keep listening. I still love you no matter what.
Yes, we do still love you. All right, so guys, go to getnowbusiness.com. You can sign up there. All the details are there. We appreciate it. Gregory, what do you say we take some questions? I'm excited. Let's do it. All right.
Okay, so I want to acknowledge Randall, who is in the audience right now. Dude, 150 episodes in 2 weeks. 150. I didn't even know we had that many. I mean, dude,
I did,
knuckles to you on that. Jeez, that is
goodness.
Epic binging.
Hilarious. Holy cow. All right. Marsha Wilson said, did the class start already? No, it does not. It has not started quite yet. It's next Monday. Scott says, man, this is what I'm looking for, but I'm not working right now to focus on real estate, so I can't get it right now. We'll be doing it again down the line. I don't know that we will be, actually. If we do, we may turn it into a course. This will be one of the last times, if not the last time, that we do it as a live class. So I know we kind of use those words interchangeably a lot. But right now we're doing it as a live class, and so you're actually on with us and you can interact with us live. Most likely we'll end up turning this, if we do it at all in the future, into a course where you can watch the videos, but you don't get the live interaction. So just keep that in mind. RNA says try $1,000 a month for 4 calls. That's probably true. There are definitely a lot of coaching out there that starts at $1,000 a month. Susan wants to know if I'll be wearing Daisy Dukes while washing. God, no. Absolutely not. Washing cars. Dan Jacobs says, my advice to anyone watching is get in it. Loved it. My business exploded. Adapting this now mindset. Love it, Dan. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And Marsha Wilson says, talking too fast. What's the website? It's right here underneath both of our names. Getnowbusiness.com. Aaron says, I took the class. It's awesome. Do it. Yeah, Aaron, you were awesome. We really enjoyed having you in the class, and we can tell that you're putting the stuff into action. That's what we want, guys. We want people in the class that are actually going to put it into action, and Aaron, you're doing just that. So there is a question that caught my eye here. Let's take this real quick, Greg.
Let's do it, Johnson.
Olga St. Pierre, this is from the Lead Gen Description Objections group, says, do you still pursue a FSBO that says they have a family friend or family member that they plan to use to list if they can't sell themselves?
I mean, there's 1,000 different objections that you could possibly go over with this. I mean, I guess you would want to do, this typical objection handler of like family or friend or whatever else, do they live in the area? We can do that. They can do that objection. You can just give them a 25% referral fee. You can always do the objection in regards to, well, are you sure? I mean, they're friends and family, but I mean, if something goes funky, do you really want them to see the inner workings of everything financial because you're going to have to show it all to them? I mean, do you really want to show that to them? Or would you rather have a third party, that's, not a part of Thanksgiving dinners, be kind of there with Nick and mitigate the emotions? Because there's never a single transaction that is the same. Matt and I have had lively debates on this, but they are never, ever, ever the same. There's always something that can go wrong. Like I had an escrow, Matt, that fell out of escrow without a call from the other agent 3 days before the close. Happened. We were supposed to close today, actually. And we fell out last week, and it was because of a crack in the foundation. Called the agent. He and I had a good discussion about it. We're going to try to work it out. But I mean, this thing was going along like a smooth, like as a baby butt.
Like butter.
Like butter. Put it on my cone.
And and that should have tipped you off, Greg. Is that this transaction is going like butter, like what's wrong? What's
Yeah,
going to go
where
wrong?
is the sinkhole? There's
Yeah.
something that's gonna happen.
Where's the sinkhole? Where's the alligator strolling across the backyard?
Oh, that's funny shit. That's funny shit. But yeah, no, I mean, every deal is different. Everything changes, and you know, those are some of the scripts that I would handle. But I mean, in all honesty, if the family member or friend lives in town, they've been an agent for a long period of time, dude, the really good thing is that you know that person would cooperate with an agent. So now you can go out and you can, you know, work your ass off to bring in the buyer, and then you can keep your fiduciary, bring the buyer in, and still get paid on the transaction.
Yeah.
But guys, listings are not everything. Okay, I really need you guys to hear me on this. Getting paid is everything. And a buyer, you're going to get paid usually the same amount as a seller. Yes, I get it. You're a narcissist. We all are. You want to have your face on a sign in front of a house. I get it. But you know what? If you need to get paid, buyers are the lowest hanging fruit. You can be a door monkey and still get paid. If you can open that damn door, you're golden. Okay. Don't ever underestimate that side. I've worked with buyers the majority of my career. Dude, I'd way rather take on a buyer than a seller. Now, the reason for this is very simple. One, I like to get out of the office. Two, sellers sometimes have a predisposition of what they want and what they expect out of an agent. You know, I want this, I want that. You must do this. You better not do that. You better get my home sold. Why don't you show up my house more? You're like, fucker, because I'm supposed to pay to list it. I'm paid to get the most people through this thing to get the highest price, you know, for your home. Not, do you want to spend all my time going out and finding buyers? Fine, I'll take the full 5% commission or 6% commission. Wouldn't you rather give it away to another agent so that they can, you know, go headhunt for you? You know, it just always gets me going when it comes down to that. Buyers are just as good as sellers, just as good, guys. So now I'm going to step off of my soapbox. And
which is great for your market. And I totally get where you're coming from. So in places like Omaha, the split is different. So listing agent will take 3.6% usually out of the 7, and a buyer's agent gets 2.4, maybe even 2.2. So and when they come down on the commission to take the listing, guess who takes the brunt of it most of the time?
Buyer.
Yeah, it'll end up being like 2%. And of course you're talking about listings that are average of 200,000. So I mean, we're talking about a buyer's agent maybe making sometimes 1,500 to $2,000 on a deal. And so, yeah, you can tell why people in the Midwest, you know, it's really hammered in that if you want to be in the business sustainably, that you got to become a listing agent, and that's why. So it depends on your market, but I know where you're coming from, Greg.
No, you can. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can still definitely become a listing agent. Strive for that, but don't be upset if you don't get one right off the bat, or if you, happen to
that's the best place to start. I mean, if you don't have enough business right now to keep you busy, absolutely the first thing you should do is go out and get buyers. 100%. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. What do we got?
Okay. So Flor de Maria McNally, which that's an interesting
name.
Wow. Goodness. Flor de Maria McNally. Does anyone have a script for people calling on your yard sign? I know you're not supposed to just give them the answers to the question they're asking right away, but I found it really difficult to not have them get frustrated. Greg, please help her. It actually says help. Not with an extended E, with an extended P. So it's more like help.
I would have totally spelled it that way. Help. So what I would do is, look, number one, first question. Matt, well, let's role play it, okay?
Okay.
So you're the calling in. I'm the agent, and you want to get information on 123 Main Street. You just saw the sign go up, okay?
Okay. All right.
So ring, ring, ring. Oh, I gotta say hello.
Yeah, is this Greg?
Yeah, it is.
Hey, Greg, this is Matt. I just drove by one of your homes for sale, and I was curious. Is that it's like a 4-bedroom? Is it 3-bedroom?
Oh, hey, that's great. Well, nice to meet you, Matt. I have quite a few listings. Which one was it?
Oh, it was the one on 123 Main Street. Okay.
Do you have an agent? Did your agent send you by?
No, I was just out driving around.
Are you just out driving around? Okay. Hey, quick question. I'll give you all the information. Are you working with an agent right now?
No, huh?
You're not. Okay. The reason why I ask is that I don't want to step on toes, and I want to make sure that if you did have an agent, I could direct you back, I could direct the information over to them. But since you're not, be happy to chat with you about them. This is actually a 4-bed. Do you need a 4-bed or do you need a 3-bed? What would work best for you?
Four bed is best because we've got our three kids. Of course, two of them sleep in the. They're doing like bunk beds, but it'd be nice to have like an office. So I mean, we're really leaning towards that 4 bedroom range.
Gotcha. Okay. How long have you guys been looking? Out of curiosity.
We've been out. We've kind of kept an eye out for the last few months or so.
Okay. So you guys, since you guys aren't working with an agent, are you doing a lot of the heavy lifting, a lot of the legwork, having to go find the homes and check Zillow? And, well, by the way, just so you know, Zillow keeps properties on their site that are not actually for sale. So it's like a landmine. You got to be careful.
We ran into that. We called on one that was supposed to be for sale, I don't know, here a couple of weeks ago, and called up the agent, and yeah, it had sold like 3 months before or something. So yeah, we ran into that.
Yeah, it's kind of
Sucks.
Tell one thing to you, from me. I think it's a BS move, and I think it's wrong that they do that to you guys as the consumers. They try to buy our eyeballs, and so they leave things up there so they'll attract the buyers and the sellers to come look. But let's do this, Matt. Hey, do you have time? Sit down. I'd love to meet you, and I'll kind of show you some of the other listings that I have coming up that are not on the market. I also am tapped into air quote secret MLS, right, that I subscribe to, and I'm able to know about properties that are not on the market that actually do want to sell. Would that be?
So, I can show you like stuff that's not on Zillow or the MLS or something.
Yes, these are not actively on the MLS for the most part. Some of them double dip, not all the time, but yeah, they're not actively on the MLS 99.9% of the time. But they've raised their hand and said, "Hey, I want to sell," and we subscribe to the system where we can get it. So if that's helpful for you, I'd love to sit down with you. What was your wife's name?
Julie.
Okay, we'll sit down with you and Julie. And we'll love this, just kind of, see what we can do to help you guys, get you guys into your home. What's your time frame, by the way? When are you thinking about getting in?
Well, I mean, the kids are, they're probably, what is it, a month away from going back to school now. So, I mean, it would be great to get something done by then. But, like if we can get something done by the end of the year, that'd be good too. They can just transfer schools kind of like for the new semester or something.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. So what is it? What today, tomorrow, Wednesday? What's a good day that works for you? Let's get together.
Let's do Saturday if you can.
Saturday. Very cool. Yeah. Let's do it maybe 11.
Yeah, let's do 11.
Okay, fantastic, man. Nice to meet you. Here's the address to my office, 123 Anywhere USA, and I'll see you, Julie, and your little chicken McNuggets.
Walter says, I thought they were going to fat camp.
That's what I was going to say. I was totally going to say that. I want to throw that in there.
Walter and Greg share two minds. Oh, man, that's funny.
When's the graduation from fat camp? Huh?
Yeah,
exactly. What's the goal weight?
Well, we had to have, it got pushed back a little bit because we had to have the graduation gown specially flown in. Custom made by a tarp company. Oh, man. Okay. So let's answer Florida Maria's original question, which was how do you stall them in such a way? Like, Greg, you did it by asking me if I was working with an agent, but what you didn't do is you didn't tell me like, hey, I'm pulling up that information right this second. I want to make sure that I give you the right details. Would it be better to do that so they know why you're asking and that you are pulling up the information while you're asking?
Yeah, but you can use the open house script. Oh, how'd you guys find the house? Did you just drive by? Did your agent send you? Did you see it on online?
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Same thing as the open house, but just you can do it for sign calls. So you can take a lot of the times, guys. What you can do is if it works in one scenario, it's going to work in another scenario. You just got to put a little bit of a different package on it. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't have to be this revolutionary new concept, a new script, a new format. No, dude, it's all fucking same. You're just talking to another human being. But just use it as that. And that's what a lot of people, I think, get hung up on. They're like, well, I have an open house script, but what about this script or that script? It's just cannibalize them, put them together like Frankenstein.
Well, what's your theory, though, on why people are, because it says if they're I found it really difficult to not have them get frustrated. So what do you think is happening on the call with that person when people are getting frustrated with her?
I think she's not answering their question. She's awkwardly stalling them, is that what I think, or she flat out says, "I can't give you that information over the phone. I need to meet with you." That just pisses me off just saying that.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense.
If you said, "Hey, look, how did you guys find the house? Did your agent send you? Are you guys working with an agent?" No, or yes, great. Either way, if they're working with an agent, great. Give them the information. You got the listing. Let them come on back with their agent. Who cares? You're still getting paid.
All right. So turning back to listings, this is a great example, Greg, of what probably drives you nuts about working with listings. So Casey Petrillo says, what's the best response to this objection from a FSBO? Quote, I think the real estate market is backwards. I don't see why the seller should have to pay both buyer and seller's agent. Why doesn't the buyer pay the buyer's agent and the seller just pay the seller's agent?
You know what? That's a great question, and I totally understand where you're coming from on that. And it does feel like you're paying two times over, and there are some parts of the country in the state, or for some part of the country, where that does take place, and other parts in the world where there are no buyer's agents, there's only listing agents. But this is the way it's done here in this area. So we have an option to make. We have a decision to make. Now, my commission is 3%. Okay, we need to make a decision together on what we want to offer the buyer side, because if we don't offer anyone, no one's going to come look at the house. Therefore, you're not going to ultimately get where you want to go, like by selling your home. So it's up to you. I mean, what would you like to do? Would you like to offer them nothing? Or would you like to offer them maybe 2.5% to 3%, which is standard here in the area, for services? Because ultimately, what you're doing is you're not paying a commission, you're paying for a service. Mm-hmm. So I think that's where people really go wrong, is they get hung up thinking about that they're paying a commission, but in reality, it's just a service. It's a service fee. It's a cost of doing business.
Well, it's almost like you're hiring. If you look at it this way, someone that's putting their home on the market is hiring, number one, a marketing specialist, which should be you, assuming you know anything about marketing, and hopefully you do. Second, by offering the buyer's commission, they're essentially putting out the other 80% of the market out there, which is the other agents. They're essentially hiring an army of recruiters, right? So if you had just had to sell your home on your own, you had no way of accessing a bunch of other people who know who the buyers are. How would you find them? Like, how would you put your home in front of them? Like, you can put it on, you can put it on Zillow's Make Me Move. Who checks that? You can put it, sign up on the yard, hope people drive by it. But the bottom line is, how are you going to reach an army of buyers? Well, you got to get in relationship with people that are working with them. And that's the way we do it, is by hiring those people to bring them to your home. That's what that commission is. So you can look at it in terms of paying a commission, but really it comes down to you're almost hiring an army of recruiters for your home.
Matt, I just read your response to Arne's, how do you deal with Greg? You write vodka.
See that, folks? That's not water, baby. That's not water. It's July 3rd.
So bullshit.
No, it is water. All right. So Jake Chamel says, do you typically talk about pre-qualification in that example conversation? Going back to the sign call, how deep would you take that in terms of would you talk about the pre-qualification before you meet with them?
I wouldn't. I want to get in front of them. That's just my own personal thing, because I don't know what their timeline, what their wants or needs are. As soon as I figure out that they actually do want to do something and they're not just driving around aimlessly and looking for shit. Like, I was up in this river city called Rio Vista yesterday, right? And Lily and I were driving around. We went to this bar. We got a beer because there's this like, the whole place is covered in animal heads. It's pretty famous, actually. All shot in the 1930s. But anyways, we were driving around the city of Rio Vista. We saw an open house sign. I'm like, hey, you want to go to the open house? Dude, we walked through there. We could have been a married couple or whatever, just looking around. But we were just agents. But no, I mean, when it comes to the pre-qualification, you don't know what their wants and needs are. You don't know what they are really looking for. I was just kicking tires yesterday. So go deep on a pre-qualification with me. I'd be like, dude, back the fuck up.
Yeah,
I got an agent card, man. See, that's my young
get out of jail free card. Like, I'm an agent. Leave me alone.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Get out of jail free cards. Like, no. I'm one of you. That's one of you.
That's
Don't
right.
sell me.
It's like being a DEA agent, a drug bust. Like, hey, I was here because I was going to arrest him too. Like, you guys came in right after me. I was totally going to arrest him.
I was totally gonna arrest. What? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I gotta do samplings. Yep. That's the real stuff.
Yeah. So it goes back to what we were talking about this with the gals from Prime Seller Leads earlier today. It gets down to knowing their motivation, right? So whether you go deep on the pre-qualification depends on how serious they claim to be, essentially. And if someone were to come up to you who are just tire kicking through an open house and they try to go deep and try to like pre-qualify you and talk about, getting you over to their lender, and you're like, hey, all right, let's,
Hey, that's like sticking your tongue down a chick's throat at the bar when you just get her name. Like, hi, what's your name? Rebecca. You're like, And you're like, moved a little too fast there, pal. Okay, pump the brakes.
Oh man, that's funny.
I'm the
Oh
president
man,
of the Tonsi hockey team, Matt. Just got dubbed
and
team
the president
captain.
of the Tassel hockey team. All right. So Walter has a good question. Says, do you guys do a buyer's agreement in your guys's market? He was trying to figure out how to spell guys's, so I helped him out. GUYS apostrophe guys's market. Do you do a buyer's agreement in your guys' market? So Greg, what do you think? What do you feel about buyer's agreements?
Matt, first off, they're bullshit. I mean, yes, they make you feel warm and fuzzy, but Matt, I've told you the story, and I'll tell the story again of my one and only attempt to do a buyer.
I would like to point out one and only attempt, but go ahead.
Only attempt.
Yes.
So what I did is I was told, this is many moons ago, Johnson, many moons ago, back when I was running free on the range. What I did is I took this guy into the one of our conference rooms, sat down and explained to him, this is a buyer agreement. This is what's going on. You know, I need you to sign this so I can legally represent you, all this other stuff. Guy didn't say a single word. Looked at me deadpan in the eyes, gets up, walks out of the conference room, then walks out of the front and then takes a left. Never says a word and gets up and just walks away. I'm like, well, that could have gone better. Yeah, I decided that what I do is I build relationships with the people. I build the trust. Right. I use the cheating and the cheating script on people a lot because it hits that core nerve on people, and I found it to be incredibly effective. Cause you don't want to be cheating on me, do you? I mean, no. And that is basically my buyer's agreement. And then I hustle my ass off for them so they see the value.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I like the idea of buyer's agents. I never work with the buyer side, so it's a little bit foreign territory for me. I know from Jeff Cohn and their team's experience, they all do buyer's agents. They have a buyer's agreement. They have a buyer presentation that's very similar in layout to their listing presentation, and so they take the buyers through that to build the value and explain why they do and all the things they do for the moving truck and then this and that. And so they're building so much of a higher level of value over and above and beyond what a typical buyer's agent would do. That's how they get away with offering that buyer's agreement. They're also building in a broker fee, right? So in that agreement, because that's part of the structure of what makes their team sustainable, which is getting that broker fee, which I think is $4.99 on the buyer side, if I remember right. So they're getting $4.99 or $5.99, one of those two, to get directly from the buyers on every transaction. That's actually what pays for all their admin staff. So guys, if you're looking now at how to hire an assistant or how to scale up a team and you're not quite sure how to make the numbers work, that is one way to make the numbers work, is to charge a broker fee on every transaction. So that to me, whether you end up holding somebody to the contract or not, which I think that's Greg. What you're referring to is, even if you get them in a buyer's agreement, are you really going to be a dick if they go through an open house and make an offer? Probably not.
You have legal cause to go back after them and get a portion of that commission.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you have a buyer's agreement, but it depends on how, are you going to really go after it or not, which I get both sides of it. So, if you build up a strong enough relationship where they don't do something stupid, go for it.
Wow.
But if you're going to charge broker fees and you're going to add additional services and housewarming parties and stuff like that, I would say go for a buyer's agreement, because they really should see the value in just working with you, because you can open up any house for them, including a FSBO. There's no reason for them to go through anybody else unless they're not willing to commit to you.
Yeah. Oh, guys, this is another one. Yeah, let's say you don't get the agreement or you get the agreement. I don't care either way. In the very beginning, if you're talking to them, they're like, oh, well, we're not going to use you for this city because we're going to use another agent for that city. Fuck them. Move on. You will waste your time, because you know what? If they don't see the value in you, if you can open up any door, then you shouldn't be the agent only for Alamo, Danville, and San Ramon, but not Lafayette, Walnut Creek, and Concord. Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, because we have someone else that handles those areas for us. Okay, then they can handle these areas, and go work with someone that actually respects you. I'm not kidding about that.
Interesting. I would have, because you've got cities that are so close to each other. That doesn't come up in Omaha at all. At all. There's this. It's all one thing. I mean, if they were moving, because even the majority of agents are licensed in Iowa as well, so they can sell to the city that's on the other side of the river. Not that anybody would ever go there. That's where I'm from. Nobody wants to go there. But they. Anyway. So there's one last question I want to cover before we hop off because we only got about 10 minutes left. So Florence Sumner asks, going on a listing Wednesday, I'm seeing them at 3 o'clock and 2 more agents are right after me. Thoughts? Now, I've seen this question on lead gen scripts and objections as well, and it caught my eye, so I was hoping we would get to it, and I'm glad she asked it right here on Facebook because this is a great opportunity. So, Greg, going into the listing presentation, you know immediately after you, like literally on the hour, there's 2 more agents coming after you. What would you do?
I'd dazzle the shit out of them. I mean, this is when you got to come in heavy. This is not the 2-step listing approach. This is like you going in both barrels blasting. I want them rocked back on their heels with the value that you're going to provide, all while making a connection with the people that you're meeting with. But I mean, Aaron Wittenstein, our fearless leader over at Lead Gen Scripts and Objections, he has a 150-point listing presentation, right? Yeah. Go and do something like that for yourself. It doesn't have to be 150. It could be 250, guys. It doesn't matter. But it's overwhelming them with the amount of work and labor and expertise and everything that's going to go into this. The small parts of real estate transactions is where they fall apart. And you need to tell them that. Because if they're going to be going with Susie or that fucking Bob Remax, Matt.
Bob
Remax. Fucking guy. Bob. I don't know how he gets his own business. Anyways. God, we go out. We crack ourselves up.
Yeah, we think,
we think we're hilarious.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Fuck it. But you know what? If Bob is going to come in and he's all standard Magoo and you kind of know what he's doing is by the book and you're like, how is this guy getting business? It's probably because he's bringing a lot more value than you are. If he's beating you out on listing presentations, okay?
Yeah.
Have it down, but don't have it down so tight that you sound like a robot. Bring your human side to this.
Yeah, it's about having it down so tight internally. So that you can reel it off without thinking about it. It's not about sticking to a script.
Right. So I've always laughed about the fact, and I've shown you guys this. Do I have anything I can write on? Yeah. By the way, this desk that I'm sitting at, guys, fun little fact. This is the only heirloom that my dad has from his father.
Really? I remember being in your apartment. I assumed you got that at the lovely antique store known as IKEA.
Motherfucker, this is not IKEA. This is solid as wood. I don't know if you guys can see this, but we have a line here and a line here for sales and time. And then we have an arrow, like a line just like that. Terry will sit in a listing presentation and he'll just do something like this. And you want to think that you know what the fuck is going on. Looks like a bad sports play. But he's just sitting there doodling. And he's like, well, so what I would do, I would come here and then, maybe bring it back down to here. But, we'll get here as he's making it more and more convoluted and completely confusing. But he knows his stuff so well that he can lay there totally like he's sitting there at a dinner with friends. He's just kicking it. That's what people love. They love the subtle confidence and the strength. Own your air. Own your space. Now, Bob might beat you. Susie might beat you. But you know what? You're going to go to that homeowner and you're going to say, Matt, Julie, you're 3 obese little wood denting, incense sucking little, blobs. What did I not do so that I could not work with you? Mm-hmm. Sit there and be ready to learn. That is the single best, fastest way you can possibly ever become the best in the listing presentations. I had a friend of mine, Marasa. She's a great agent, solid, right? She's in our Walnut Creek office. And she and I were bantering back and forth one day, and she's like, I'm going to kick your ass if I ever go up against you in the listing presentation. I'm like, please, girl, I'm going to smack you down. She's like, good. And if you do, I'm going to walk over to you and say, thank you for a good run, but I'm getting you on the next one. And I'm like, that's like the best attitude I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Because she's going to go talk to the listing, the sellers and figure out what she didn't do or how she could have gotten better and then improve upon herself. So, long answer to a simple question.
That was a long answer.
I know. I just jabbered on.
I've got 3 quick things.
I'm a tree monkey. Anyways, I got bring massive.
Oh, you're still not done. Okay.
Shut up.
Man,
if you keep cutting me off, I'm never going to end. Okay. just bring massive value. Be professional, be courteous, watch the body language. If they're shying away or kind of crossing their arms or messing on their phones, you got to break that mindset, because they've tuned you out. If they're leaning in and they're asking additional questions like that, like Matt's tuning me out right now. Like, yeah, if you see that, run. But let us know. Let us know how it goes. I want to see.
Or if you see the glassy eye, like Greg has half the time on the show because he's looking at Facebook comments and emailing people while he's on the show. that right there.
1,000-yard stare of like,
no, you've lost it. All right. So let's talk about 3 concrete things you can do. So let's say you don't have an official pre-listing packet. Let's see. What else could you send? Number one, here's what I would do. Honestly, I would go find one. There actually on the lead gen scripts and objections group, I'm pretty sure is somebody's editable Word document version of the 150-point marketing plan. I would go get that right now in the group under files. Guys, if it's not the official one, I don't think it's Aaron's official one. In fact, I know it's not because he's had it redesigned. But there might be something old from somebody else. But anyway, go find one, go modify it. And I do not joke about this. I did this back in the day, and this freaking works. And I mean, it worked for me when I was a 25-year-old nothing that knew dick about real estate, and it works. Which is,
you think something's changed?
Yeah, no kidding. So go get that pre-listing packet, customize it for your name and your team, and yada yada. Just go get it, print it out on like a little bit thicker paper, go throw it in FedEx and have it overnighted to them. I don't care if it costs you $30. That will be the best $30 you ever spent will be for them to have your pre-listing packet show up hand delivered by FedEx before your appointment. So that would be number one. Number two is a couple things we picked up from that Derek Evans episode, which I wouldn't have necessarily thought about. Remember that episode where he talked about the top tips from listing agents in San Diego? So first of all, Florence, go back and watch that episode. Derek Evans, that was amazing. So 2 things he said is that the people that showed up, number one, with a gift. So if you're not able to customize it, get them something general, See's candy, whatever.
You can do that, but Matt, if we want to personalize that a little bit more, I just thought about this. Okay. Just drive by the house, right? Notice the house. If there's like if the house looks really good, like with flowers and everything, get a little gardening book, a seasonal gardening book, or a flower book. If you see like 2 of the same model car, like I see 2 BMWs in the driveway, they probably like BMWs. Okay. Go get them like a little keychain from BMW, 2 of them, one for the Mrs., one for the Mr. Just something small like that if you want to personalize it a little bit more. Just a thought. I was just thinking about that.
Yeah. You can even drive by and just see what style of house there is and get a coffee table book for interior design about that style of house.
Oh, now we're thinking outside the box, Johnson. I like where this is going.
All right. So number 3 was so Derek, and this is something that I would have never guessed because there's a lot of agents that pride themselves on being like like Lee Brown talked about, like the no BS realtor, and there's absolutely a place for that. But one thing he mentioned, which I wouldn't have picked up, which is never, ever, ever, ever say anything detrimental about the home until the contract is signed.
Unless they ask you straight up. I had a lady that she straight up asked me like, okay, Greg, this is all a bunch of fluff, but it's all bullshit. What do I really need to do? I'm like, okay, this is what you need to do. These are the different points. And I keep staying in touch with them. Older couple, they just need to figure out which retirement home they're going to go to. But she's like, oh my God, Greg, how are you? I resonated with her because I wasn't just all fluff and bullshit. Yeah, I was telling the truth. I was telling her the hard-hitting facts of what she needed to do.
Yeah. And that's what she needed. Unfortunately, sadly, that's not. Apparently, that's not most people, because that was one of the key ways for people to lose a listing presentation. Yes. Was one person said everything was great until after the listing was signed, and then they talked about strategies for making the home a little bit more presentable. Yeah, I seen Walter's comment there.
Oh my God, Walter, where the fuck did you come up with this shit, dude? A brick through the window, surprise!
I tried the gift, and they accepted it, and then didn't listen to me, and then ignored my calls. Man,
Matt, what we should do is if you should get it on there and put Bob from Remax's business card on there. This is a present from Bob. I think that'd go over well. Before he went to the listing presentation.
Oh man! So Aaron has a good question. We might have time for this one. So in my area, Dallas, buyer's agents automatically get the 3%, and the listing agents are the ones that take the cut and end up getting 3 or 2%. When I talk to agents in other states, it's the other way around, which is what it is in Omaha. Why is that? I've never heard of one where the buyer's agent actually gets more than the listing agent.
Well, what I would think that it would ensure the home being showed, and the enthusiastic response from the buyer agent community. Because I mean, that's why we always do 50-50 in our area, always 50-50. There's some dick agents out there that'll, try to undercut the buyer's agent. They'll, like, if they got a 6%, they'll take 3.5 and they'll give 2.5 out or something, some bullshit like that. But I mean, it's I've never heard it being reversed like that, but I can understand it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, essentially it's that particular, MLS or realtor board, has decided essentially that that's what they want. They want more incentive on the buyer's agent. So, and in terms of the work being done, we've talked about this before, Greg. This is another point where we disagree. There is the national stat that, listings are 2 to 4 times less time consuming than buyers. So maybe they're trying to make up for that. Now, it's not always true. You contend that it's not true. But there is a perception out there that buyer's agents work harder in terms of the number of homes they show. And guys, if you're showing more than 10 homes, that's probably true. And sadly, you might be in a market where you have to show 10 homes because it's a seller's market, and you just may not be able to get the first 10 homes you bid on. Who knows? And in that case, you probably are working harder.
You are, but it's also client control. It's understanding the expectations, and it's thinking outside the box. I mean, Matt, what we just discussed on this is, valuable beyond belief, because we just gave people literally the opportunity. So, who asked the question about the two other agents?
Florence, in fact, and she has a follow-up question. So it's Florence.
Florence. I mean, if you literally, of course, keep listening to us, and then when we go off the air, then leave. Okay. But what I would do, go by the house today. Go take a look at it. Go stalk them. Go on Facebook. See what they're posting about, right? If they have a bunch of inspirational quotes, go get an inspirational quote book and give it to them. Yeah. If they like boats or Harleys or whatever else, go play to that ego. Go play to that side. And if you don't know shit about a Harley, go read something. Go watch YouTube videos. You can have a half of a conversation with them. Like, my neighbor has a fat boy. Yeah, this thing's awesome. Not
be careful with the Harley thing. Got to make sure both elements of the couple like Harley. Otherwise, you're getting something the husband likes and the wife will hate you. Because I can see someone going in and getting my dad something cool about a Harley, and my mom's going, "Oh my God!" Well, don't encourage him. Don't encourage him. My dad just bought his first Harley.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. That's so awesome. Florence says, "Do you give them a price before signing?" Honestly, in that case, I would give them like the range speech.
Yeah,
and say, like, if like, I know you've got some other agents to meet with. This is the range that I feel like your home will sell in. After you meet with those other agents and you see what their marketing plans are, and you differentiate yourself based on the marketing plan. Once you see what the other marketing plans are, and you can see who you believe has the best chance of bringing buyers, then we can come back and revisit what price we think will bring in the most buyers, and whether or not you think you want to maybe put some money into the home to get it ready so that it shows even better, to attract the maximum number of buyers. So that's a conversation we can have at a later time. Here's the range I believe it'll sell for. That's what the tack that I would take?
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely do that. I would
sabotage them.
No, what?
Well, you can sabotage them by saying, here's what the market is saying. And if they come in and tell you anything over that, they're probably trying to buy your listing, and then explain to them what buy the listing means.
Buying the listing, yeah. They're just trying to screw you, okay? Not the fun romantic type, like the type with the jailhouse, that unpleasant stuff. Right. Yeah.
Have you ever seen The Wire? Yeah, it's just like that. Like the prison kind. Good Lord, Greg.
But no, so my script is this: is that I would give them a smaller range of value, like Matt was saying. But I also say, and then yes, I know Omaha, Nebraska is not going to have this, so come up with your own fucking version of it. But it's like, hey, prices, the market's going to shift between now and when we go in the market, so we're going to reevaluate our price the day before we go on the markets to make sure we have all the most up-to-date comps, because prices can swing $50,000 any given Sunday. So that's what I would do on that conversation with them. I would give them the range, give them what they're looking for, but then be on Team Johnson. here when it's like, look, I don't want to give the exact price because the market's going to shift. We don't know which way it's going to go. I want to make sure we price it appropriately for the market because it can shift, 10 to 20,000 any given Sunday. And we want to make sure we get the most for your home. You understand that, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, of course. Okay, perfect. Now, there might be some other folks that come in and say that they can, this is the exact price, but we don't know what the future holds. And if I knew what the future would hold, right, I'd be down in Vegas putting everything on black. but we don't. That's why we do that for you, to protect you and to put the most money back into your pocket.
Yeah.
And people it's a very easy, simple script to deliver because it's all client centric, not commission centric. It's not about me, it's about you, right? Yeah. And you educate them to what other agents are doing. Oh, that might be another good thing to give away, Matt.
What's up?
Common terms, like a sheet to give to sellers that are commonly used terms in a real estate transaction, like buying a listing. Or, giving some stats about like, in the California Association contract, we actually have a term sheet, like in the contract. There's a bunch of pages with terms on it.
Glossary.
Exactly. So if you guys can get your hands on that, that would be something really interesting, and then highlight some of the big ones and go give it to them so they don't have to feel like real estate retarded when they when they start going through the transaction or have a silly question. You can give them a term like, shit, man, when I first got into real estate, I had no idea what an escrow was. I'm like, an escrow? Do you need to see a doctor for that? I mean, I think I have an escrow. Uh-oh.
I think I have an escrow, and I think it's growing.
Oh, it's bigger than it was yesterday.
Oh my God! All right, we're getting loopy. It's just about the holiday. We got some work to do before we finish out the day. Oh, guys. Well, all right. That was I don't even know what to say to that. Growing escrow. Get yourselves checked. Get to the doctor. Get yourselves checked for a growing escrow. All right, guys. So let's finish out with this. So thank you, first of all, for everybody that's hanging in there and still watching for God knows whatever reason on July 3rd. We appreciate it. Guys, go to getnowbusiness.com. Check out the course. It starts on Monday. Do not be late. It is limited in terms of how many participants we can take. And so if you think you're going to wait until the last minute, you might be surprised to find out that you're not in the class and you might get your money refunded. So do not hesitate on that. Greg, how should they connect with us?
Stalk us on Facebook and then go wait outside Matt's house and jump out of the bush and scare the shit out of him. Mm-hmm. I don't even know where he lives, so I can't even give you guys the address. And I probably never will know. But follow us on Facebook, guys. Spread the word about our show. Help us get the word out to everyone that's out and about in the real estate community about what we're doing. We really do try to do this to give as much as we possibly can back to the people in the community and the industry that we truly love and have a heart for. So follow me on Facebook. Follow Matt on Facebook. Do not friend us, guys. I literally can't take any more friends. And Matt just won't accept a friendship. Actually, I lost 5 friends. Cool. I have 5 slots. I'll have to fill those. Nice. I pissed off 5 people, Matt, all by my lonesome.
That's right.
But yeah, guys, just follow us. And I put the link in for Getting Out Business into this feed. So if you guys have any questions, click on the link, watch the video, and we will see you guys on Monday. Same bad place, same bad time, and we'll all get educated and smart. SMRT. I mean SMART.
You mean Wednesday?
Huh?
This is Monday. We'll see them on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, we'll see them Wednesday for the class. For the class.
Oh, for the class. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, that is true. Yes. Everybody else will see you on Wednesday for the podcast.
All right, guys, we're out of here. Until then, peace out, ninjas.